Rama said, "What is to be known is known. What is to be seen is seen. We are all filled with the Supreme Truth, thanks to the nectarine wisdom of Brahman imparted by you." So it sounds like Rama's just saying, I've got the message. But it's also a description of the situation, our immediate situation. Everything that can be known is known right now. Everything that can be seen is seen right now, right here. This fullness is filled with fullness. There's nothing else. There's nothing else apart from what is right here, right now. What's going on inside, what's going on outside is all Brahman, it's all the Absolute, it's all consciousness. Fullness is born from fullness. The stream of experiencing the notions of an external world, of a self experiencing that external world, it all comes from the Absolute. It is the Absolute. It is what is. Fullness fills fullness. In fullness, fullness is ever established. There's no dividing it up. We can divide it up if we wish, but that's only notional, it's only provisional. At some point we realise that that's what we've been doing. We've been dividing things up. We've been dividing the experiencing up. We make notions about it. We regard some notions as true, some are false. We make emotional investments in these notions, one way or another. However, for the further expansion of awareness, I ask again, pray bear with me. The sense organs are obviously present in all. Yet how is it that the dead person does not experience sensations, though while living he experienced their objects through those organs? So here Rama is getting a bit philosophical again. Dead person's got sense organs, but why has the dead person not got any experiences? It's an interesting question. What is the difference between a live person and a dead person? What makes one person alive and one person dead? You can be carrying on your life, and at some point you're going to be dead. You might just drop dead. There might be a reason that they can find. You might have a blood clot or something like that. But that's the reason. That's the reason given. But what's the difference? Why does a blood clot stop you experiencing life as we understand it? So this is a philosophical question, and it's probably best left to the philosophers to answer. We're not really interested in philosophy, and the situation arises because of various notions. The question arises because of various notions. Let's see what Vasishta has to say. Vasishta continued, apart from the pure consciousness, there are neither the senses, nor the mind, nor even their objects. So it's all notions, the notion of senses, of notion of perception. So they're all provisional ideas which we use for the purposes of communication. It is that consciousness alone which appears as the objects in nature and as the senses in the person. When that consciousness has apparently become the subtle body, the Puryastaka, it reflects the external objects. The eternal and infinite consciousness is indeed free from all modifications. But when there arises the notion of I am in it, that notion is known as the jiva. I think, therefore I am. As soon as you can think, you become an identity, a being. a jiva, an individual. It is that jiva that lives and moves in this body. Well, what we're getting here is a further explanation of the term Puryastaka, which means 8-gated city. So there are 8 factors here, and these 8 factors are briefly the Egosense, the lower mind, the higher mind, and the 5 senses. So let's explore that. When the notion of I arises, ahambhavana, it is known as Egosense, ahamkara. When there are thoughts, manana, it is known as mind, manas. So this is the lower mind. And these thoughts are driven by the senses. When there is awareness, bodha, it is intelligence, buddhi, and this is referred to as the higher mind. It's the higher mind which is not caught up in the senses, the source of wisdom. When seen, drish, by the individual soul, indra, it is known as the sense, indriya. Indriya means pertaining to Indra, who's the king of the gods. And this is what the senses are in relation to us. They tend to rule us, tend to dominate us. But what we've got here is the notion of perception. So indriya is really notions of perception. So when seen by the individual soul, it is known as the sense. So when consciousness perceives itself as an object, we call this perception. When the notion of body prevails, it appears to be body. When the notion of object prevails, it appears to be the diverse objects. However, through the persistence of these notions, the subtle personality condenses into material substantiality. And what this means is we start believing in physicality. Physicality is a notion which is a result of the reinforcing of our mental notions, our emotional notions. It's deciding that some notions are true. The notion of an external world is no more than a notion, and yet we believe in it. The same consciousness thereafter thinks, I am the body, I am the tree, etc. I am the body, I am the tree. So consciousness can be inert or animate. The distinction again is provisional. Thus self-deluded, it rises and falls until it attains a pure birth and is spiritually awakened. Then by being devoted to the truth, it attains self-knowledge.